everyone, it's Michaela. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about one of my absolute favorite things in the world, and that is reading. I absolutely adore reading, and I'm such a seasonal reader. It's one way that I really love to celebrate and romanticize each season is to find books that really carry those vibes and just take place within that time and have the setting of that season. I just feel like it's just such a great way to really just enjoy every season because they're all so different. I also just love reading as an escape. I know that no matter how good my day is or how bad my day is, I know I can pick up this book and just escape my reality for just a little bit and spend time with these characters in this world. There's just something so incredibly magical about that. I really wanted to share with you the books that I'm going to be reading this summer, and they're all very light and airy. The settings are very tropical, and there's some comedy in there because we love a good laugh in the summertime. And these are all going to be perfect to toss into your pool bag or your beach bag and just take it with you wherever you go. And if you have any summer book recommendations that I don't mention in this video, make sure to comment those down below so that we can all go and check them out. Without further ado, let's go ahead and let's get into the summer books for 2023. I have my iced coffee right here, as I do in every single video. So make sure you grab your beverage of choice or your snack, and let's get into it. The very first book is something that you've probably seen everywhere, but honestly I had to include it because she is one of my absolute favorite authors, and that is Happy Place by Emily Henry. So I'm currently reading this one. I'm almost halfway through it, but it is so good. She wrote People We Met on Vacation, Beach Read, and Book Lovers, and I read all three of those last summer. They remind me so much of like a classic Kate Hudson, Matthew McConaughey rom-com from like back in the day. I just love her books so much. They're so light, they're comedic, and they just are all taking place in the summer. So Happy Place is about a couple named Harriet and Wynn who broke up months ago. They were engaged and they ended up breaking it off. They go to their annual week-long friends vacation in a cottage in Maine, but this particular summer is very different because the cottage is being sold, so it's the very last time they'll have this week with their friends there. They've done it for so long, so it's really special. So they actually pretend that they are still together just to keep everything. Maddie, can you not? They want to keep everything as normal as they can, and they don't want to upset their friends and make this last summer so weird and awkward. They create this plan to pretend that they're still engaged, and it is so funny because they get pushed into these scenarios to pretend that they're still together when they're not, and they actually want nothing to do with each other. Emily Henry's writing is so witty and comedic, and the stories just flow so well. They're paced great. They are the perfect light and airy beach summer read. If you haven't read any of Emily Henry's books, what the heck are you doing? Run to Barnes & Noble, run to the library, go get one. The next book on my summer reading list is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. So I've actually only read one other book by Colleen Hoover, which I feel kind of behind the eight ball because I feel like everyone's read like 10 books by her because she's written so many amazing New York Times bestsellers. But the only other one I've read is Verity, and I read it in like 2 days because I could not put it down. Even Cooper was next to me, and I basically told him the entire book because he would like keep asking me what happened because even he was enthralled by it and he wasn't even reading the book. So this is about a girl named Bea, and she just lost her mom before heading to Penn State for college. And the way her childhood was is she grew up just in survival mode, basically in poverty and just trying to make it. So she ends up calling her dad, who lives in Texas on the peninsula, to spend a summer with him, and he is the total opposite lifestyle from what she grew up with. He lives a very wealthy and luxurious lifestyle, but he was a very absentee father for her. So Bea heads to Texas, and this is where she meets Samson, the next door neighbor, and he grew up with the wealthy, luxurious lifestyle that her dad lives, but he seems to understand Bea in a way that no one else there does, and Bea becomes attracted to Samson. But as she gets closer to Samson, there are some secrets revealed about the people she's started to care about, and it just basically changes everything that she thought that she knew while she was here in Texas. It has summer vibes, romance, a little bit of drama, and I'm here for it. So the next one on my list is The Unhoneymooners, and I actually got this from the library. It's a little beat up. I think it came out a couple years ago, but This one actually takes place in Maui, which I've never read a book that takes place in Hawaii. This is about a girl named Olive, and her twin sister Amy is getting married. Olive has always been kind of the unlucky twin, and things just don't seem to come as easily to her, versus Amy just seems like everything works out in her favor, and she just kind of gets everything that she wants. But at the wedding, everyone in the wedding party except for Olive and the best man Ethan, who she absolutely can't stand, gets food poisoning, which leaves a honeymoon up for grabs. And Olive is not about to let Ethan go enjoy Maui by himself. The two, Olive and Ethan, head to Maui together, and they have to pretend to be newlyweds the whole time that they're there, even though they really can't stand each other. It sounds hilarious, like an enemies to lovers story, but it just seems really funny that they hate each other and they have to pretend to be married newlyweds, and I don't know, it just seemed like the perfect summer read. And I love the cover. It's super tropical with the palm leaves and the toucans. Next one is Shipped, and this one takes place on a cruise ship to the Galapagos Islands. Our main character, Henley, is a workaholic marketing manager who gets forced to go on a cruise to the Galapagos Islands with her arch nemesis, Graham, but they're both up for the same promotion. So they are challenged to who can create the best proposal for boosting bookings to the Galapagos Islands, and whoever comes up with the best promotion gets the job. They're forced to go on a cruise together, but whenever they meet in person, Graham is nothing like Henley thought that he would be. And as she spends more time with him, she starts to actually become attracted to him and just kind of starts to question her work-life balance and kind of what's the point of working so much if she can't live her life, which I think is a really valuable lesson nowadays especially. It seemed like a really lighthearted, fun read, and again, another tropical location to transport us to all of the summer vibes, and I just love any kind of setting on an island or a ship or a boat or anything like that. I mean, the cover just screams summer to me. I don't know, it just seemed perfect. The last book on my list is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I actually feel a little behind the 8 ball with this one because I feel like everyone read it last summer. I don't know why I didn't read it. I think I was just honestly reading all the Emily Henry books, and that just took up my whole summer because I love those books so much. So this whole book takes place over the course of 24 hours and follows 4 famous siblings who are throwing this really big summer party, but the party gets completely out of control, and by the end of it, their lives will be totally different with so many different secrets revealed and just lots of craziness, it sounds like, in this one. But yeah, it gives me 90210 vibes, so I'm very curious to get into this one. All right, you guys, well, that is going to wrap up my summer reading list for 2023. I really hope that this video gave you some inspiration or maybe gave you some ideas of books that you would like to read. If you have any recommendations that I didn't mention, please leave those down below because I am always on the hunt for some good book recommendations. I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.